But we're going to be taking a look at the best upgrade as far as a graphics card for an i5 2400 Intel computer. And so I recently upgraded mine. If you are a video content creator like on YouTube, or you're a gamer, you're going to want to have a good graphics card. And most of the i5 2400s that I've seen come with a really garbage graphics card. And I'll actually compare it to the one that we're going to be considering here now. So I looked at graphics card. Now when you want to update your computer, the graphics card, there's two things that you need to keep in mind. The first one is the motherboard, and I believe they call that the socket size or something like that. And so in this case, the i5 2400 uses an LGA 1155 socket. So that means that you have to get a graphics card that will fit that socket. So that limits you in that sense. The other thing is the i5 2400 doesn't use a lot of power, so it doesn't have a powerful PCU or power supply unit. So that limits you in that respect as well, because now a lot of graphics cards require a lot of power. So the i5 2400 doesn't have a powerful supply unit. I think it's 95 watts or something like that. So that limits you as far as what type of graphics card you can upgrade with. Now, Linus Tech Tips, I believe is his name. I watched a video from him. I'll leave a link for it in the description. And he gets into this. He's an expert. I'm not an expert in this stuff, but he is an expert. And he gets into the upgrading an I think it's an i7 3770 or something like that. It's the same socket, the same motherboard, LGA 1155. So for example, if you want, and what Linus Tech Tip, what he did was he upgraded you could upgrade the i5 2400 to a 3770, an i7 3770. That CPU will fit. So anyway, this particular there is one graphics card that will work, and it'll fit, and you don't have to add any additional power supply. You don't have to add a new power supply unit or anything like that, and that is the GTX 1650 Super. You can see it next to me here. I have the Gigabyte GTX 1650 Super, and some people think that it requires more power than it does, and some people think that the i5 2400 won't power it, but it will. I'm using it now. I'll actually show you guys some gameplay footage of it. You get 1080 full HD, so that's what you're going to get out of it with the i5 2400. And again, there's no need to buy a new power unit or anything like that, and it does fit the motherboard. So what I'm going to do is, the only thing is Linus Tech Tips, he gives a lot of good information in his video, but he doesn't actually show how to connect the wiring. So what a person would have to do is, unless they know how to work on computers, they would have to pay somebody to do it. And Geek Squad is going to charge you around $30 or $40 to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys how to do it yourself and how to connect the wires yourself. In the description, I'll leave a link for this, the Gigabyte GTX 1650 Super, and I got it on Newegg for around, it's an online order, for around $180, and I think that included shipping and handling and everything. So for around $180, you could upgrade, and all it is a graphics card upgraded, nothing else. So, and then the wires that I'm going to show you guys how to use to connect this to your computer are also inexpensive. They're in the ballpark of $5 to $10, and I'll leave a link in the description showing you guys, you know, which wires to use or which cables to order and stuff like that as well. So that replaced this piece of junk. This piece of junk in my hand was what the computer came with. Total garbage. Look how small it is. I'll even set it right there. You can see it compared to the Gigabyte GTX 1650 Super. That is a small, tiny little graphics card. It's MSI. It's a piece of junk. Not even worth... They should have never even built it. It's that garbage. Complete garbage. Now, the Gigabyte GTX 1650 will barely fit in this computer. A lot of people actually say it doesn't fit because it's that tight of a squeeze. And, I mean, I'm literally on top of the plug that goes to my CD drive or my disk drive or whatever they call it. And I wasn't sure. I mean, I'm pressing down on it so hard. I wasn't sure if my CD drive, or I'm sorry, DVD drive was still going to work, but it did. It does still work. I checked it. So all you have to do to hook this thing up is, it's real simple. You don't have to pay Geek Squad any money. This is like a 2-minute thing to hook this up. You can, if you want, you can watch a tutorial. I'm not going to take this thing apart, but there's no screws or anything required. If your computer has this plastic, I'm touching it over here. If you have this plastic thing, it just, there's a button here. And then it releases this, flips up or something like that, and it unlocks this whole thing. And then what you could do is you pull the old graphics card out, you remove the old graphics card, and then you put the new one right in the same slot. And that confuses people too, because there's, I think, on my computer there's 3 slots. So the slot that they say that you normally choose is the one that's closest to your CPU, and the CPU is right under my finger, under this fan. So it's the slot that's closest to the CPU. And really, all I did was I put it in the same slot that the old graphics card was in. Alright? So the next thing you need to do is hook it up to the power, and then that's it. You're all set. So this is the power supply unit right here. See, I have to make sure that my fingers, you guys can see what I'm pointing at. This is the power supply unit right here, and coming out of it is kind of like a wiring harness, or like wiring, and it goes to all these other components in your computer, and they call it a SATA wire. And connected to that SATA wire, there are usually 1 or 2 blank SATA plugs that aren't being used, that you can use to plug into your new graphics card. But you have to have a SATA to 6-pin adapter. And so, as you can see, here's my 6-pin adapter going into the graphics card, and the SATA end, I've got mine kind of a funky way. I've got a dual one, because I had 2 empty SATA connectors coming from my power supply. So I've got one of these dual ones where I've got one end connected over here, and I've got another one connected over here and then I've got it going to a this is an extension right here. I've got an extension. Now you guys don't have to do it to where you have it plugged into two different SATA plugs go into your power supply. You don't have to do that. You can do it with just one. I could have got it just a regular 6-pin to single 6-pin to a single SATA, and I could have plugged in to either this one or this one and then into the graphics card, and it would have worked. The only thing is Linus Tech Tip didn't specify, and the way he hooked it up, it looked like the way I've got it hooked up. So I was confused, and I did it this way. It works both ways, I believe. And when you plug it in, you're going to know that it's running and that it's working, because if your computer and stuff is turned on, as soon as you hook up your graphics card, you're gonna hear the little motors spinning. You're gonna hear the little fans spinning and turning on, and that's how you know that it's hooked up and that everything's running properly. And yeah, for $185 or so, this is the best graphics card update for an i5 2400. It's the most compatible. This graphics card right here is as if it was built for this computer. It's perfect. It goes perfect with it. You don't have to buy any additional power supply or anything like that. And I hope this helped you out.